my name is Amy. I have done 14 seasons now overseas, starting off as a transfer rep. I moved my way up to a campsite courier, a transfer coordinator, a resort manager, and I've recently been a country manager for Andorra. So first of all, where you can work? Well, the most obvious is Europe. You've got the French Alps, it's spread all the way over to the Swiss Alps. You've got the Pyrenees, which cover down over through Andorra, etc. Now, the good thing about working in Europe is you don't necessarily need a visa. To go and work in France, you can apply with a UK-based company and go and work overseas with them. With Andorra, you do need to get a green card. It's not so much a visa, it's more of a medical and a criminal check before you are allowed to enter the country. But it is very easy to break into Europe to start your career. Then a little bit further afield, you have got Canada and the USA. Like both Canada and the USA, again, you are going to require a visa. We did have a fella up here earlier from Bunak talking, and he is explaining that Bunak are able to help with Australian and Canadian visas. But there are a lot of companies on our website at resortwork.co.uk that you can apply to a company and they will assist you, if successful in the role, to get your visa to work overseas. You then got New Zealand and Japan. Now these lucky people measure their nightly snowfall in meters. So if you're a bit like me and you just crave this fresh powder every day, you definitely want to get yourself over to New Zealand and Japan. I am going to explain a little bit more about when it's best to go to these particular places in a minute, because obviously you can do Europe in what's classed as our winter and then head over to New Zealand for their winter, which doesn't start until June time. So you can end up skiing and snowboarding all year through. So what jobs can you do working a ski and snowboard season? Obviously you've got your ski and your snowboard instructors. Now you do need to be qualified to be a ski or snowboard instructor. There are plenty of places around today. They're telling you about instructor courses. They set you up with the whole package. They fly you off to somewhere exotic for a few weeks. They get you through all your first aid courses, etc. They take you through all your BASI qualifications so that you are a qualified ski or snowboard instructor. So this is a role that is open to you. We then got the chalet hosts, the bar staff, the customer service, the catering assistants. They all come under a wide umbrella because they are mainly based in the chalets. Now again, a lot of companies, for the likes of Esprit, massive company, have chalets all across Europe, as well as they are breaking now into Canada. And they staff the whole chalet. So as a guest would walk into the chalet, they'd have a receptionist there greeting them. So somebody with customer service skills, if this is you. They'll then walk up into their rooms, their beds have been made, and their floors are cleaned by the housekeeping staff. So again, it's something that you could be able to do. They go downstairs, they need to eat. Their food has all been prepared by the chefs, by the sous chefs, by the assistant chefs. They walk outside, they've got waitresses and waiters, as well as finishing their meal off with a drink from obviously the bar staffs. So there are lots of roles all within the chalets that are available to you. You've then got the resort representatives and the resort managers. And I'm sure many of you have been on a package holiday where you arrive, somebody greets you at the airport, they pick you up, they take you over to your resort. They make sure everything goes smoothly throughout your stay and they bring you back again. And this is the role of a resort representative and obviously a resort manager. Lots of customer service. There is sort of a sales side to this role as well. So if that's something you're interested in, that is a level that you could go into. And then moving up to the accountants and the hotel managers, the large tour operators, the likes of TUI, the likes of Nielsen, massive tour operators. They staff their whole country from the country. So down in the likes of Alpe d'Huez in France, they've got a big operating office where they employ staff to do their accounts, to do all their management and stuff like that, but actually based overseas. So if you didn't want to be so hands-on, so customer-facing, there are things that happen behind the scenes if that is more you. And ski technician, again, if you know what a din setting is, you've done a few seasons ski and snowboarding before, you're looking at something a little bit different. Ski technician is a very, very important role. It's quite first aid based, it's very customer focused, and obviously lots of health and safety. You're ensuring that these people have got their skis and their snowboards adjusted well enough to their feet, so in the unlikely events that they did fall, etc., their skis are coming off at the right points. This is a very important role. but something again that is open to lots of British staff. Lots of British tourists are overseas. They want the British speakers. So when can you work? As I was explaining earlier, first of all, we have got Europe. Europe has seen an absolutely amazing snowfall at the moment. Austria is absolutely mounted in fresh powder. The season starts there in November and normally goes on until April time. Sorry, do excuse me. Now, most of these jobs are seasonal, so they'll run from November through till April. If you don't have that much time open to you, some companies will do a shorter season. So you can go for 3 or 4 weeks over the Christmas period, 3 or 4 weeks over the Easter, February holidays, just to give yourself a bit of experience, see if you're going to enjoy it and whether you want to take on a full season. As I was explaining, New Zealand, they have a completely separate winter to us in the UK and Europe, and theirs runs from June till October. So if you've got a bit of a craving for it and you've missed the winter season, go and start your season in New Zealand. Just because you haven't done a season in Europe, it doesn't mean that those options are not open to you. Japan is the same sort of thing as the European season, December till April. If you are going to go with a company that specialises in something to do with Japan, they're normally looking for some, not necessarily experience, but a little bit of passion towards it. Whether you've trained in a sort of a martial art and you've got a passion for the Japanese culture and stuff like that, that's the sort of thing that's going to help a company look at you and say, yeah, they're definitely going to be suited to some of the resorts that we offer. And the US and Canada, I actually did my first season in Canada. So again, please don't think that just because you haven't done a season in Europe, you're not going to be able to go. I went over to Mont Tremblant. I learned to ski on Mont Tremblant. It's absolutely glorious resort, glorious people. And the same with the US. They've got resorts all across the Colorado Springs going right over the Jackson Hole. And there are many companies that just specialize in Canada and the US, and this is an option that will be open to you. So what skills or experiences do you need? First of all, your age. To work overseas, most companies will not take you on until you are 18. So once you are 18, you are going to have lots of options open to you. To work as a driver or anything like that overseas, you do need to be over 25 years of age, and some companies don't take you until 21, but the majority at 18 will give you a position. Languages are not essential with every company, but obviously they are going to benefit you. If you do have a little bit of French, you do have a little bit of German, you'd get on a lot better in Austria. It's something, again, that looks really, really good on a CV. So if you've got a few hours, and you've got a few hours spare each evening, get yourself one of the lingua phones. If it's a job that you're really going to want to do and you're going to have a lot of passion for it, put that extra bit of effort into it. Learn that little bit of French. Turn around to the prospective employer and say, I can speak conversational, or I've got a basic grasp of French. I enjoy the language, I want to learn more. It always looks better towards them. Qualifications, again, the same with languages. Not always necessary. A company is looking for experience a lot more than they're looking for qualifications. If you've done a little bit of customer service, it's fantastic. But it's all about your motivation and your personal drive. If you turn up at an interview and you say, okay, so I can't really ski, I've done a little bit of customer service, I've worked in a restaurant, but I really want to expand my career. I've got a passion for travel, I've got a passion for the mountains, whatever it is, that's the sort of thing an employer would want to hear. So if you have got the qualifications, the experience and skills, fantastic, make sure you're on the CV. But please don't be disheartened if you don't fall into this category. Training courses, if you're planning on, you want to go into a chalet, you want to be a chef, you need to know how to cook, and unfortunately that doesn't just include beans on toast or a quick spaghetti bolognese. You are going to have to be able to produce a menu. Therefore, if you're planning on doing something like this, a cookery course will be something that is going to give you the necessary skills to get into the catering roles overseas. And like I was explaining earlier, if you want to be a ski or snowboard instructor, you're going to need to learn how to ski and snowboard first off, and then you're going to have to join one of the courses, get yourself the necessary recognised qualifications to be able to expand your career. What benefits are you going to get out of working a ski season? First of all, your salary, your accommodation, and your meals. Most companies will give you a whole package. People think that the travel industry is very low paid. Please don't believe this. This definitely isn't the case. You will get a set wage. On top of that, most companies are going to provide you with your accommodation. Initially, this may be on a shared basis. If anybody's applying in a couple, you may be able to get accommodation for just 2 people. And the more you work up through a company and the more you step yourself up into head rep, into resort managers, into a high ski instructor, you will get your own accommodation. It's like with any company, the longer you're with them, the more benefits that you are going to get. Of course, your meals, if you're working in a chalet, for example, you're a housekeeping staff, you make sure you make friends with the head chef, you make sure you tell him his bedroom will be nice and clean, he's going to cook you meals. It's a very much scratch your back, scratch my back if you're working in a team resort, but lots of companies do include things like your food. Now, a season lift pass, a lift pass over in the likes of Alpe d'Huez is going to cost you about €2,000 for the season. Once you go and work with a company like Nielsen, with a Spree, they're going to provide you with this lift pass. It's yours for the whole season. So say you're working, for example, you're an assistant chef in one of the chalets. You start work at 7 o'clock in the morning for breakfast time. You finish this role at 10 o'clock when everyone's cleared, everyone's on the mountain. They turn around to you and say, okay, we have to start preparing the evening meal at 3 o'clock. From 10 o'clock till 3 o'clock, you're off. You go on the mountain, you go and catch up on some extra sleep. Everything is all going to be provided for you, as well as your ski and your snowboard equipment. So you don't have to have lots of money to go and work a ski or snowboard season. Free travel to and from the resort. As you know, we can get lots of cheap flights nowadays, but by the time you've added your taxes on and you want to take your skis or your snowboard with you, etc., it can become really expensive. And a lot of these companies will either bus you to resort or they'll fly you out to resort, and it is all included as part of your role. Insurance. I'm sorry to have to bring a downer on it, but it's incredibly, incredibly important. If a company does provide you with insurance, make sure it covers you for everything. It covers you for your personal belongings, as well as any medical insurance. In the unlikely event, touch wood, that you decide you're going to snowboard a little bit fast and a tree just jumps out from behind the bushes into your way, you have to make sure that you're insured to get that grip or whatever put onto your arm. So please do make sure you've checked that one. And the opportunity to live and work abroad is fantastic. I absolutely have thrived on my career. Some of the things I've seen, I've rode snowmobiles through Lapland, over frozen lakes, looking up with the northern lights above me. I've done some absolutely fantastic experiences. You get to meet people of different cultures, different religions, people that are there to do the same sort of thing as you, whether it's for one season just to open your eyes up, or whether you want to go for 6 or 7, 8 years. I went for 6 months, and as I said, I'm now 9 years into it, and I absolutely love it. So you get to meet people, and again, learning a new language. Say you don't know any now, you turn around to your employer, you say, okay, I speak nothing but English. In 2 years' time, if you've done 2 seasons in Austria, you're going to speak some German. You can expand on that. There is a lot of different skills you'll be able to pick up. Work on your CV. The likes of Thomson Crystal employ nearly 2,000 people every winter, but receive 11,000 CVs. Yours has to stand out. Don't just put a little basic CV. They want to see everything on there. Whether you've got a C or a D in GCSE French, it doesn't matter. It means you can at least introduce yourself. Make sure things are on there. Research your employer, incredibly important. If you do get past the initial stages and you get an interview, you're sat there, you're giving them a fantastic interview, you're having a bit of banter. At the end they say, have you got any questions for us? You go, no, it doesn't look good. Get a question for them. Ask them when they were founded. Show a bit of interest. It's the sort of thing an employer would find attractive. Write a cover letter that attracts attention. Whether you're 30 and you've worked in 25 resorts, or you're 18 and you've never left the UK, this doesn't matter to a prospective employer. They want the enthusiasm, and they want the people that want to learn and want to experience this.